So my name's Allison Belan. I'm the Associate Director for Digital Strategy and Systems at Duke University Press. Yeah, and so where my presentation picks up is that you have walked the build versus buy decision path and you've decided to buy something, which is exciting. You get to spend money. You may even know how much money you get to spend. And then once you get over that first, like, yeah, we're going to do it, it's like, what do we buy? Depending on which technology arena you're looking at, there can be an overwhelming number of choices. So I'm going to talk about sort of the most recent decision that we've had to make and what factors played into that decision. But first, a bit about us. We are a department of Duke University Press, of Duke University. And as such, our mission is in support of the university's mission of advancing knowledge. So we are a U.S. university press, and we publish books and journals in roughly equal and fairly significant, though not gigantic, numbers. We have 120 books a year, but a very deep backlist. We publish about 50 scholarly journals, and our specialty is really in the humanities and social sciences, with a small but strong position in mathematics also. And so that leaves us in an interesting position as a humanities publisher, but with journals. Our journals for years now, decades, have been playing a game that STM journals wrote the rules for. So we're pretty used to that by now. But then when ebooks came along, and especially putting books online to sell into the libraries, suddenly humanities books also had to start playing a game that the STM world built. So that's been an interesting challenge for us. And even though we may look kind of like something of a sizable organization, we're a very resource-intensive organization. We don't have a lot to put toward technology because we are supporting an entire book editorial function as well as strong print sales, especially on the book side, but still on the journal side. So there's not a lot of, we haven't really hit any of those efficiencies that supposedly come with being able to transfer costs from one place to another that supposedly come with making the digital move. So it's become kind of popular to say that book, journal, it's just a container. All of this content can be pulled out of its container and recombined. And in fact, a lot of our future business strategy is built on that notion. But we can't lose sight of the fact that these containers still have value and are still containers that people want. And there are pretty significant differences that have built up around them. There are differences in how they're produced and the technologies that they're produced with. There are differences in how they're bought and sold, and there are differences in how they're consumed. And because we publish both, we wrangle with those differences. And so really, this is how our life feels on a daily basis. With any decision we are making, we very often feel like we are choosing which of our square pegs, which is going to be the square peg this time. Are we going to make the journal business be squished into the book optimal system? Are we going to make the book business be squished into the journal optimal system? Who wins? Who loses? It's a fun game. And either way, we found ourselves looking, no matter which one wins or loses that time, we are probably looking at a lot of customization or configuration. Okay, so that's the background. Our most recent problem to which we sought a solution was our website. And it was planned from 2008 to 2009 and launched in 2010. And I would say probably 2011 is when the web suddenly became easy. And fabulous CMSs allowed your marketing team to do amazing things. Yeah, our website didn't have any of that, and we also didn't really know what we were doing. We didn't build it. We partnered with a digital agency, but we drove them to take kind of a core shopping cart CMS and very heavily customize it to make it look just like us and just like we want to look. The result being that it is now incredibly brittle, non-extensible. You know, we have to go back to our partner every time we want to even put an ad on the page, advertise a sale or do a promotion. And because we customized it so heavily, we got scared along the way of keeping up with the software upgrades because we were going to have to re-customize every time. And we got very far behind on the versions, and that left us vulnerable to being hacked, which we were. And the university was really unhappy with us. They essentially, came in, helped tremendously. You never appreciate being part of a university and having an OIT department more than when you get hacked. But we also kind of got a dunce cap put on our heads and sat in the corner. Okay, so we needed a new website, not just because this one wasn't even working to support our current business, but it wasn't even going to come close to supporting this fresh and shiny new strategic plan we have and all of the big ambitious goals we have around building direct relationships with our readership and our customers and building communities and doing just a lot more direct-to-consumer activity, both e-commerce and communication-wise. And so we needed to find something that would let us do that. So I'm just going to run through a few of our decision factors here. And this goes back to know thyself. We really needed to take into account our organizational character. And as I've indicated a little bit, for much of our existence, we've believed that we are special snowflakes. Sure, other people publish journals and other people publish books, but not like us. And out of that belief came the sense like, okay, because we're special snowflakes, we should and can build our own. And then over the years, that sort of shifted to, because at that moment, it just meant, let's build a FileMaker database. That seems pretty easy, right? Then that shifted to, we should and can ask for something that we purchase or commission to be highly customized for us. And then that kind of shifted to, we can and should ask to be the first person in on a new product offering or a new service offering, because then we get to shape it. Well, where that left us at the beginning of this process was completely exhausted, overextended, unable to keep up with any of this stuff. So we took a really hard look at our cultural habits and sort of what aspects of our culture are healthy and help us and which ones are harmful, and learning from our mistakes. And another thing that we needed to assess was our readiness to use the technologies that are available. We did a lot of research into what's going on out there for website platforms, CMSs, e-commerce, and there's some amazing features and amazing technology that's out there. One of the ones we learned about that we didn't know that much about at the time is marketing automation, and this goes beyond just direct email marketing. And we were learning about it and thinking, wow, that's cool. Should we look at Marketo? Should we look at HubSpot? And we're like, well, one, we only just found out what that is about 2 days ago. And two, we can kind of hypothetically see the applications of it, but we don't know how to use it, and we don't have anybody to use it right now. So that helped us turn away from things, which was really helpful when we were looking at as many choices as we were. So then we also needed to really look hard at our existing systems and partners. One of the things we wanted to do, if we could, was consolidate. We're not very well, we're not hugely resourced. It would be helpful if we could drop a vendor or drop a system or drop a point of integration and consolidate. So we actually had 3 systems in place that offered that possibility of consolidation. Our online content provider, which is Highwire, our fulfillment system provider had built a CMS and e-commerce front end, and our title management system provider offered web services. And we looked really hard at all of those, but eventually decided to keep those things decoupled, to not put our website into any one of those other points of systems that we have. We were worried about lock-in, just increasing lock-in and future flexibility. 2, we were worried about agility and access with some of those options. That put it at too far of a remove for our marketing team. So, ask yourself, do you have existing systems that are offering solutions? Are they good ones? Do you want to use them? And then if you decide no, like we did, you still need to know about these systems because you're suddenly going to start questioning whether they're the right systems. And so you could find yourself in a position of, not only am I building a new website, but through this, I've recognized that this 3 other core systems that we should have entirely different ones. You have to kind of keep your head above the weeds on that and look really hard and know what you're keeping for now, and know what you're keeping for as close to forever as we get. Because you need to make a choice that will integrate well with those on-the-ground facts. As I mentioned, we were really looking for maintainability. After getting hacked, we understood sort of the real-world consequences of not being able to maintain a system. We understood what over-customization, with the risk that it could put you at as well. And it wasn't just about security, it was about breakage. Every time we tried to do something little and simple, something seemed to break, or what people were doing on their free WordPress-hosted blog, we couldn't do on our website. So we were looking for a system that can be customized, but in a way that stays maintainable. And we were also promising ourselves to hold each other accountable for not choosing the path of customization whenever that option came up. So what we really wanted was a product that had some sort of built-in customization layer that we could use when necessary, but that isolated it from the core product. And so, for an example of what that led us away from is our open source systems like WordPress and Drupal. They are customizable, almost for us dangerously so. They're also open source, which presented a security risk. Not a security risk, but just a greater security challenge for us. And so a choice that a lot of our peers are making, we walked away from. And then being within the university environment, compliance is a huge factor for us, especially after getting caught out on a hack. OIT is looking very carefully at all of the decisions we made. So we are, to some extent, accountable to Duke OIT security for our data and network security plans. We are accountable to Duke Treasury for our PCI compliance and limited very much by them in what kind of, how we conduct e-commerce around transactions. And these groups have formed all of their policies for what is, for the most part, an educational, non-commercial, zero-risk environment. They did not write these policies for a business unit that is actually trying to conduct commerce. And so they don't fit us. They feel really restrictive. And we go to great pains to explain to them why that is, and they say, yeah, that's too bad. So that was a boundary we had to work within. There was no flex on this. We needed to know those policies, and we needed to pick a solution that can meet those policies. So having assessed all these factors, we surveyed the landscape, gathered, just Googling Gartner reports, gathered up a whole lot of options. And those pretty quickly filtered down to a small handful of good options. And as we started engaging them through the RFI and RFP process, this is also where we realized what we kind of already know, which is that build versus buy is a lie. Probably the only thing that you buy and use out of the box in your office these days might be Microsoft Office. Anything more complicated than Word in our world, there is no, I'm going to buy it, plug it in, and it works. So what every decision like this entails then is a product purchase, but then probably implementation services, customization services, and then ongoing support. And you may get all these from a product company so that it feels like a purchase, but you can also get these different aspects from different partners. And that became a choice point also. So the solution we ended up with, we picked a commercial web platform. It's a .NET platform called Kintico. It is based in the Czech Republic. It's actually like a 20-year-old company, incredibly mature. It has a very high-functioning CMS, a really flexible e-commerce system. It has a starter set, kind of a starter kit of marketing automation and analytics, so that we can learn more and take advantage of that and learn this new realm we discovered that was so exciting. And it has a really robust customization layer. So they also maintain a partnership network. They'll do services. We could have gone to them and said, hey, we want to work directly with you, Kintico, to build this, implement this. But they have a partner network, and we saw that they had several partners in North Carolina and one who's literally 3/4 of a mile down the street from us. So we have partnered with a local digital marketing agency for delivery, customization, and support. And then why, if I were to summarize like why we have good confidence that this is going to work for us, is that, it gives us the beauty of local support, which is hard to get if you're not in New York or DC or San Francisco or Boston. It gives us a network of partner agencies, so if this great small company, if the lead retires, if they go out of business, if their hotshot developer leaves, there's a network of other partner agencies we can turn to. It's a mature product. We don't have to drive the roadmap. We don't have to suddenly become experts in what a CMS should do and what the latest bells and whistles of an e-commerce site are. They've got 25,000 other customers helping form that view. And it is built for smart customization, so hopefully we can get what we need while keeping ourselves out of trouble. That's it. Thank you.